Isa ka bang OFW na nagbabalak magkaroon ng apartment business para sa iyong retirement income? Sapat ba ang isang apartment business para sa iyong retirement income? Pag-uusapan natin yan sa video na ito. Good morning mga tangay, good morning friends. Welcome back to this channel where our dream is to be able to help OFWs like you to maximize your time abroad so that you can retire on your own terms in the Philippines or elsewhere. This video is part of our apartment business tips. So we have a whole playlist of videos that talk about our tips and tricks, learnings, mistakes, local and international best practices so that you, the landlord, can up your game and grow your apartment business. So ang video po na ito ay pag-uusapan kung okay ba ang apartment business para sa retirement. Siyempre ang sagot, okay. Pero ang tanong, sapat ba ang apartment business para sa iyong retirement income? Ang sagot po ay yung ibang sasabihin nila, it depends kung siguro marami kang units or konti. Pero sa akin po, ang sagot ay hindi. So para sa mga nagmamadali po, ito na po yung sagot. Hindi sapat ang apartment business para sa iyong retirement income. Bakit ko nasabi yan? We'll talk more about the factors that you need to consider in this video. So please watch the whole thing so you can be guided at makita nyo yung ating point ng video na ito. So if I'm looking down, I'm looking at my notes. Meron po tayong 5 factors to consider when we are looking at our retirement income. Ano po? Una sa lahat, what will be our retirement age? So when I talk about retirement for OFWs, that simply means retiring from overseas work. So kami, nag-retire kami from overseas work. I think we were 36, 2020. So 36, umuwi kami. So we've been here for 2 years already. So kayo naman, kung nasa abroad pa kayo ngayon, naisip niyo na ba kung ilang taon kayo magre-retire or uuwi for good? Why is that important? Because you still have your whole life ahead of you. And you need to know what will you do after retiring from overseas work. Kasi pag uwi niyo po, talaga namang yan na magdedetermine kung ano yung mga pagkakagastusan ninyo. Pangalawa, lifestyle. What will your lifestyle be when you go home? So once nag-retire ka na, ano ba yung magiging lifestyle mo? Will you live in the city where everything is more expensive? Will you live in the province? May bahay ka na bang sarili o magre-renta ka? Magta-travel ka ba? And all the other things that you need to think of dahil yan ang magde-determine kung magkano ang kakailanganin mo once you retire. According to Retirepedia, a couple with no kids, so syempre kapag ka-retirement age, no, a couple can live comfortably with $1,000 or that would be 50,000 to 55,000 pesos in the Philippines. That's according to their survey, no? So it will really depend on the kind of lifestyle that you want. So that will determine how much you will need. Third, health. How's your health? Once nag-retire ka na, may maintenance ka na ba? Nagdadialysis ka ba? Meron ka bang life insurance? Meron ka bang health insurance? Will you be going to the doctor often? Those are considerations as well to determine how much you will need when you retire. Fourth, dependents. Will you still have dependents once you retire? May mga anak ka pa bang nakatira sa'yo? May mga kamag-anak ka bang pakakainin? Or dalawa na lang kayo mag-asawa? Or mag-isa ka na lang pag nag-retire ka? So that's also a consideration. And fifth, ang rental income mo ba ay nakakasabay sa inflation? Meaning to say, sa bilis ng pagtaas o sa pagtaas ng bilihin, yung rental income mo ba would suffice or kakasya ba siya doon sa pangangailangan mo? So those are the 5 things that you need to think of. Perhaps there are others, but for me, ito yung pinaka-urgent na kailangan mong pag-isipan when it comes to thinking about your retirement. So, yung income mo ba from your apartment, will it cover the whole of your needs or all of your needs once you retire from overseas work? Ang sagot po doon, kahit na 100 units or 50 units ang iyong apartment or parang condo style na siya, no? Na kumikita ka ng 70,000, 200,000, for me, it is not good. It is not advisable to live on one source of income alone. That's the reason why sinabi ko na hindi maganda na apartment income lang ang iyong kumbaga aasahan pagdating ng iyong retirement. Bakit? Kasi what if magkaroon ng problema sa apartment? So wala ka ng income source, di ba? So yan po ang dahilan kung bakit marami tayong pag-iisipan bago tayo mag-retire. There are 5 things or 5 sources of income that you need to have. At least for me, these are the things that you need to have. At least 5. Ang non-negotiable ko ay at least 3. So, at least 3, what are they? First would be your rental income. Kung, of course, your apartment, that should be your first retirement income. Second would be pension. So, marami kasing OFWs na hindi na nila tinutuloy ang kanilang pension, no? So, pension is important. Why? Kasi darating yan come what may. No? Darating at darating yan. Yan yung isa sa mga incomes na guaranteed. Another must that you need to have would be interest income. What is interest income? This would be the interest or the gains that you're getting from MP2. I strongly suggest, I really want all OFWs to have MP2. If you don't know about it, there are so many videos online. It's the second savings program of Pag-ibig where they give a higher dividend rate compared to Pag-ibig 1 and then other banks. No? So, interest you get from or dividend you get from MP2, also from buying stocks, or dividends when you're doing dividend investing. Marvin Hermo, who influenced us to do stocks or to invest in stocks in the stock market, has so many videos on dividend investing, and I suggest you watch that as well so that you can consider dividend investing. So those are the 3 that I would like you to have as a retired OFW. Actually, meron pa yung digital banks. If you plan to save money and gusto nyo ng higher income from that, I suggest that you put it in digital banks compared to traditional banks. Digital banks offer a higher interest. So, when you go home, yung pera mong natutulog, kumikita siya. Hindi siya tax-free, but at least the income that you get is higher than the ones that you can get from a traditional bank. The 4th income source that you need to have would be an in-demand business. What's an in-demand business? Anything that has to do with what is in the area where you will be retiring. For example, ang laging in, of course, sa tao ay pagkain, tirahan, meron ka na noon, apartment business. For me, ang hindi talaga nawawalan ng negosyo ay, ano po ba yun? The beauty industry. Kasi ang Pinoy, kahit na naghihirap yan, hindi mo makikita ang ano yan, hindi nakaayos. So, lalo na pag Pasko, no? Pagdating ng mga bonuses, naku, ang laki-laki ng kita ng mga parlor, ng mga salon, ng mga, ano ba, mga nagbibigay ng mga services to enhance your beauty. So, those are the other things that you can look at. So, food is really good. Sa amin po, kami nasa food industry. And then, that would be a good thing kasi kailangan naman talaga kumain ng tao. Transportation, medyo limited yung pwede nating pasukin, ano, at mataas ang risk. But just look at what is needed. So, I have a video on how to start a small business. So, if you haven't seen it yet, I really suggest that you watch it because in-itemize ko doon kung ano yung mga pwedeng businesses na pwede nyo ring pasukin as an entrepreneur. The 5th source of income that I really want you to have as a retired OFW would be to turn your passion into your paycheck. Kasi obviously, hindi pa natin alam kung part ng plano mo, pag nag-retire ka from overseas work, ay magtatrabaho ka sa Philippines, then good. Kasi you will still have earned income. But if hindi na, turn your expertise into something that will be useful in the Philippines. Paano yun? Pwede kang mag-offer ng consultancy. So, consultancy work, especially if you work in the government or think tank groups in other countries and then umuwi ka rito and then you see the need, kikita ka na, makakatulong ka pa sa Philippines. Also, if you have a learned expertise from abroad, you can share that wherever you are. So yun, lagi mo lang titingnan saan yung need. Perhaps my expertise can help. You can earn from that as well. Or you can write books. You can create content like this sa YouTube and other platforms. Basta turn your passion into paycheck. Kung sales naman ang linya mo, kahit pag-retire mo, aba, pagkakitaan mo. And speaking of sales, My sister, May Ponce de Leon, actually just started her own YouTube channel. And si Ate May po has been in the Middle East for 15 years already. At kahit na mataas ang posisyon niya sa mga companies kung saan siya nagtatrabaho, currently she's working in a high-end interior design company in Doha, Qatar. Kahit na ando na po siya, napakarami niya pang side hustles, napakarami niya pang kinikitang extra. So, if you are into earning extra as an OFW, I would like to invite you, please po, check out her channel and subscribe if you want to. I know that she'll be able to share so many insightful tips, tricks, learnings that will benefit you. She's also selling St. Peter Life Plan actually, and that's one of her videos. She will have more videos in the future. So kung nagbabalak rin po kayo mag-prepare for retirement, kasama rin yun sa ating pinaghahandaan. Hindi lang po tayo aasa sa apartment business for our retirement income. That is very, very important. But obviously, bakit ko inuuna ang apartment business? Kasi ito po yung pinakamadali. Once you are retired OFW, napakadali for you, less effort, minimal lang talaga yung kailangan gawin, minimal supervision. Kahit natutulog ka kinabukasan, pwede kang kumuha or maningil ng renta. I hope that you are really planning for your retirement. Kesyo 1 month ka pa lang sa abroad or 1 year, because ultimately uuwi at uuwi naman talaga tayo. We will have more videos on this in the coming weeks. So I hope that you would stay tuned to watch them. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing, especially if you're an OFW, because this channel is for you. Thank you very much for spending time with me. I'll see you in our next video.